welcome. Today we visit a very special LA neighborhood, Echo Park. Echo Park. Stop that. Echo Park is a historic, idiosyncratic place that was one of the very first suburbs in the city. It's full of eccentric charm, and over the years it's been the home of choice for counterculture types who gave it a reputation for being bohemian. At one time, there were so many communists and socialists living in Echo Park that it acquired the nickname of Red Gulch. It's now a diverse, working and middle-class community with a unique identity. But if it's possible to say that a neighborhood has a soul, then Echo Park would top the list. With this aerial shot, we will map the area we're going to talk about today. This is going to be a little arbitrary, but there's a lot of information to cover, and we have to limit it in some way. So, starting left at the south end, there is Temple Street and the 101 freeway going to the downtown interchange at bottom, rounded out by the 110 freeway and North Broadway on the right. On the west and left, we begin with Alvarado Street to Glendale Boulevard going north. On the east, we start at top near the junction of the 5 and 2 freeways. Then we follow the 5 freeway to where it crosses the LA River. And from there, we follow the river until it crosses North Broadway. Before there was a Hollywood, the movie industry had its modest beginnings in Echo Park. The area in those days was called Edendale, and the first business there was the Selig Polyscope Company, which started operating in 1909. People like Laurel and Hardy, Charlie Chaplin, and the Keystone Cops got their starts with Max Sennett, who set up shop off Glendale Boulevard. There was no plaque to commemorate this, but there should be. The main building of Max Sennett Studios still stands, but is now part of a public storage facility. We can't talk about the history of Echo Park without mentioning Aimee Semple McPherson. Aimee was originally Canadian and was a one-time member of the Pentecostal movement who eventually started and built her own church. At the time, it was one of the largest churches in the country. As a result of her spellbinding charisma and the agency of a national radio broadcast, she was able to reach a countrywide and even international audience. As a consequence, she acquired considerable notoriety and at one point was the subject of an article written by the famous syndicated columnist H. Al Mencken.
Hello, I'm Glenn Drogan. My family history in the Elysian Heights area of Echo Park started in 1907. My grandfather left Russia and came to Elysian Heights the next year. Elysian Heights is a 1.5 mile valley along Echo Park Avenue from Morton Street at the bottom to Landon Street at the top. My grandfather lived on Park Drive across the street from Elysian Park. He liked to walk in the park and sometimes found a secluded area to take nude sun baths. One day, my grandmother, a naturalist, discovered him nude sunbathing and approached him. They started talking in Yiddish, and shortly after, they got married, had 6 children, and my mom was the oldest. Grandfather was a carpenter and built many houses in the Echo Park area. In 1930, my grandfather built a house at the top of the steps on Park Drive that overlooked the whole Elysian Heights area. On the north side of the steps, there is a hill which in the spring always had strong breezes, perfect for flying kites. The hill was called Kite Hill, and on a windy afternoon, there would be 20 to 30 kites soaring. My grandfather built another house on Baxter Street, just below the steps to Park Drive. I was born in 1941. We moved into this house when I was a baby. Growing up in Elysian Heights, everyone had bikes, and we became very good at climbing the steep hills like Baxter Street by zigzagging back and forth. In the 7th grade, I delivered newspapers on my bike every day after school. There were no restaurants in Elysian Heights when I lived there. I recently had lunch at the Lady Bird restaurant at Baxter and Echo Park. That used to be a gas station. I found out the steepest hills have all been changed to one-way streets going downhill only. A streetcar ran up Echo Park Avenue until the early 50s. Now there is a bus line there. I was married in 1965, and our first home was in Elysian Heights. Our oldest daughter was born there. I really enjoyed growing up in Elysian Heights. I always had lots of friends and lots of fun. Even in a big city, Elysian Heights had a small town feel because everybody knew each other.
My name is Robert Rice. I grew up on Morton Avenue, which branches off Echo Park Avenue and leads up towards Elysian Park. My maternal grandparents moved to Los Angeles in 1906, where they bought a house at Morton Avenue, built around the turn of the century. In 1914, my grandfather built a second house behind the first, in which my parents later lived, and I and my brother grew up. When my mother was a little girl, she saw Charlie Chaplin and Tom Mix in our neighborhood when they were filming at the nearby Mack Sennett studios. My grandparents' home was used in the 1997 LA Confidential, where Russell Crowe discovers a corpse in the cellar of 1704 Morton Avenue and in a couple of other scenes. My grandfather planted 3 walnut trees, one for each of his 3 children, an apricot tree, a lemon tree, several peach trees, 2 fig trees, and others. One tree that was already there when he bought the house was a cherimoya. Because of the fruit's appearance, my mother called it an alligator pear, but one could scoop its fruit out and eat it like ice cream. Because of all those fruit trees, I delighted, especially in summertime, to go out on my front porch and pick a couple of juicy peaches to have with breakfast or lunch. There were a lot of children living on Morton Avenue who played together on the street or in the front yards. Next door to my grandmother's house was an empty lot, which served as a playground for the kids on Morton Avenue and for every kind of game: softball, touch football, bike races in big ellipses, and anything that caught our imaginations. The hill behind my house, with a dozen or so eucalyptus trees, had area for picnics, campfires, and an underground bomb shelter, which I dug during my early teen years. Elysian Park was my extended playground, where I'd ride my bike on its many trails and visit the police academy with its rock garden, or ride down Chavez Ravine to the LA River before the Golden Gate Freeway was built, or ride over to Chinatown or on the other side of the park. In the other direction from my home was Echo Park Lake with its boathouse. I walked to and from my grammar school. Busing was never thought of in those days. There are a lot of children living on Morton Avenue who played together on the street or in the front yards. Growing up in Echo Park in the 1940s and 50s had a lot of the feel of the Norman Rockwell pictures for the Saturday Evening Post. It was an age of innocence and joy for the most part, and I am blessed to have experienced it.
Oh, what a beautiful day in Echo Park. Sun shining, the sky is blue. I love it. Hi.
Hi.
Would you like to say hello and tell us who you are?
Of course. My name is Jessica. I live in LA now, close to here. And I just did Pilates this morning up the street at Club Pilates.
Wow. So why do you come to Echo Park?
I like the park because it's safe. And I feel like it's a good park that you can walk around and just enjoy the scenery. It's so beautiful.
It is very beautiful. Well, thank you for stopping in today.
That was great.
Hey, hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
We're doing a little project on Echo Park to find out if do you live here?
I actually live like about 20 minutes, 25 minutes south, but I come to LA a lot, so I do stop by Echo Park every now and then.
And why is that?
It's really nice. It's very beautiful. I have an environmental science degree, so like I'm very drawn to anything that's very natural, obviously.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Love the nature, love the parks, and Echo Park is probably one of like the most beautiful parks in Los Angeles County, in my opinion. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, did you move to Echo Park at all?
No, so I moved to Hollywood.
Oh.
So I come here because there's a lot of things to do around Echo Park. I know there's an ice cream shop that I really love, and they have like vegan cookies and cream ice cream, and then Echo Park itself is just nice. I love bringing my friends here and like just having a little picnic like you see everyone doing
Wow,
here.
a vegan ice cream shop.
Yes,
Is
I
it
recommend.
worth going there?
I would say, I think it's called McCloud's, if I'm not
Wow,
mistaken.
I'll have to check it out. I have a vegan daughter.
Yes, look, she would
Ooh,
like the
okay,
cookies and
great.
cream then. It was good, it was good.
Well, have a great day, and
Yeah.
thanks for
Thank
chatting
you,
with us.
you
Thank you for that.
Hi,
Hey, how's it going?
you're walking on a beautiful day in Echo Park. Do you
It
guys
is.
live around here?
It is gorgeous. Yeah, I live close by in
Yeah?
Koreatown.
So, why did you move to Echo Park?
Just for the walkability, be able to walk her around and
It's a-
enjoy the park. It's really nice.
It's a great place for pets.
Yeah.
And the birds don't bother him, huh?
Yeah. Well, she bothers the birds.
Oh, well, she's a good dog.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you coming by today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great one.
All right, you too.
Hi. Did you grow up in Echo Park?
Yeah, I did actually.
Right around this neighborhood somewhere?
Around here, yeah.
Wow. How long have you lived here?
All my life, actually. When I was a kid, used to be going around here with my friends or just with family.
It is a beautiful park.
It is. It is.
Absolutely. Do they still have the geese?
Yeah, if you just look around, there's just some geese around.
I saw some birds, but they weren't geese. My son was chased by one in this
Oh,
park
really?
35 years ago.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Echo Park is eccentric, physically and figuratively. It's full of hills and valleys, and on some of its winding streets, traffic can only proceed one car at a time. The angle of some streets are some of the steepest in the state, if not the whole country. For many years, I've enjoyed watching the Fargo Hill climb, with athletes training to bike up Fargo, the steepest street of them all. Like a lot of older neighborhoods, the Echo Park area features a great number of public stairs to connect streets on its hills. This was originally done to make it easier for pedestrians to access public transportation. The Baxter Stairs are a long one and is often used by workout buses from other parts of town. Weekends, you can find something called the Silver Lake Flea Market, even though it's located in Echo Park. This flea market is on Sunset Boulevard near the Glendale Boulevard Bridge. The Farmers Market is south of Sunset Boulevard and north of the park and the lake. Echo Park celebrates a different Asian country each year with its iconic Lotus Festival. In the part of Echo Park called Angelino Heights, you'll see great examples of Victorian and Craftsman architecture. You can find it when you exit the northbound Hollywood Freeway at Echo Park Avenue. First make a right on Bellevue Avenue, left on West Edgware Road, and right on Carroll Avenue. Most of what you want to see is on 2 blocks of Carroll Avenue between West and East Edgware Roads. We can't finish with Echo Park until we say something about Elysian Park, which is like the backyard of the Echo Park neighborhood. It's 600 acres of hills and hollows, of picnic grounds and hiking trails, and is the oldest park in Los Angeles. It was the site of the city's first botanical garden. It has fine views of the LA skyline and the areas directly north of downtown. The drive north of the interchange on 110 freeway cuts through the eastern portion of the park through a series of tunnels. If you want to access Elysian Park from the east, it'll be necessary to begin by going from downtown to North Broadway past Chinatown. Turn onto Casanova and continue straight until you reach Park Road Drive. Make a right and continue straight and west on Park Road Drive until you come to the bridge spanning the 110 freeway. After this, make an immediate right.
Here we'll access the park from the Solano exit.
As we go past the reservoir, I want to say that in all years of living in LA and coming to this part of Elysian Park, I've never seen water in it, so I have no idea what purpose it might serve. As for native trees, you'll occasionally see coast live oak, Southern California black walnut, Mexican elderberry, and there's even a grove of pretty rare buckeye or horse chestnut trees in the park near the Grace Simons Memorial Lodge.
Over the next half mile or more, you can expect to find other great views looking north. Like the rest of the town, Elysian Park is full of exotic trees and plants. At one point, people from back east had the notion that the park should acquire a more alpine appearance and so planted date or cedar trees that you can still see growing on its steep slopes facing the 5 freeway. They never flourish, but you can still see them. Up ahead at mile 1.9, you'll find Bishop Canyon and the home of the Northeast Los Angeles Little League.
Up ahead is the T intersection. A left takes you to Dodger Stadium and the Police Academy, and the right takes you to an exit of Elysian Park at Morton Street. On the hill where St. Andrew's Ukrainian Church is located, you can look north into West Elysian Park and northeast towards Dodger Stadium. In 1965, the LA City Council approved a plan to use 63 acres of the best picnic grounds in Elysian Park for a convention center and exhibition hall. Enter Grace Simons, a diminutive black editor and journalist. As a local who loved the park, she considered the proposal unacceptable and went on to found a group called Friends of Elysian Park, which initiated a successful grassroots campaign to preserve the open park space for the public. This group also prevented oil drilling in the park and is still active today.
Because of gentrification, Echo Park is a mixture of old and new. Gentrification hasn't been a good thing for everyone, but young professionals have tapped out other neighborhoods like Eagle Rock, and so Echo Park has taken its turn.
That's all for today for Echo Park. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you again soon on LA Byways.